All right, let's welcome into Straight Fire a guy we haven't talked to in a minute, but he's got some interesting insight on the NBA Finals. Henry Abbott, true hoop legend. He's been everywhere in sports media. Henry, how you doing, my man?
I'm great, great. What's going on over there?
Yeah, I can't complain. Although it seems like I'm complaining about no super team in the NBA Finals.
Oh,
We're gonna have our seventh champion in the last 7 years. I don't know. You look at the league from a big picture, and this whole like, hey, we want the small markets to keep their guys. We want the big market spenders to pay the second apron. I just don't know if this is the best strategy, Henry.
I I want to say this respectfully, like I don't care about any of that. I want the teams to be well run. And I
Oh,
I think most teams aren't well run. And it's been pissing me off for my whole career. Like they just do so many like the Suns right now are a laughing stock. I mean, it's so amateur hour over there. And they have all this money and they're spending it on the dumbest things. And to me, like I like these two teams. I don't care what size market they're in, but they are well built. They're the model franchises. This is what your local team can emulate. You're not going to get LeBron and Luca and your team. Sorry, right? Like what you can do is you can grind away and get draft picks and get Aaron Nesmith and you can get Andrew Nemhard
mm,
and you can develop them. And Rick Carlisle has a very real and defined system. We're referring to it as blur ball. Kenny Atkinson went off about it after the Cavs were eliminated. Like there's a reason the Knicks lost is because they wore the hell out of those stars with a system of they aren't even good players. Like Obi Toppin's not great, but he runs around really
he's
fast.
solid. Yeah.
He's solid, and but the plus minus is bad on him, right? The Knicks have a better roster, but they got outcoached because
Yeah.
they got those, Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson running all over the place. There's metrics
Mhm.
on this, and they were crap players at the end of their Knicks in crunch time were crap.
They were
They
bad.
turned it over as many times. No, and I hadn't looked up before the last game, but 4 games in, they had more turnovers than baskets in crunch time.
Wow. And it felt like they were the opposite against Boston, right? Coming back from down 20.
Yeah, everyone thinks this like clutch thing is like part of your character. No, like if you're just exhausted, there's data going way back. If you're
Mm,
exhausted, you're just not good.
yeah. I guess it's less about, small market. I should rephrase.
Sorry.
I don't care like that they teamed up in Cleveland. I just want the stars together.
I
I
see.
don't know if
Okay.
Miami's a big or small market. I like it when stars are playing together. Kevin Durant became, and it seems like for some reason, Henry, anytime somebody who plays in one market and then leaves via free agency or demands a trade, he's instantly a villain. Anthony Davis was vilified for going to the Lakers. They won a title. That team was fun.
Yeah.
KD, OKC to Golden State, LeBron to the Heat, forms the Heatles. Like those were the teams I was really ramped up about. Like, I don't know. My wife doesn't have plans for us for these finals on Thursday, but I can see myself easily backing out on watching
Oh,
game 4 or whatever because
yeah.
we got a dinner on the books. That's not happening if it's KD versus LeBron. Oh, whoa, whoa. I'm not missing out on that.
I think it maybe we're also just in a much needed generational shift, right? Like those
Mm,
guys are old. Like KD's never going to lead a title team again.
yeah.
LeBron's never going to lead a title team again. Steph's never going to tell. This is all over. It's over. We got to say goodbye. There's hardly any. I think I looked it up. It's some ridiculous number, like 6% of the NBA. Don't quote me on this. There's a true post where I went into the numbers, but I think 6% of NBA is 31 or older, and
That's
one
it.
1.5% of the NBA is good and over 31. Like it's those are we just named them all practically, right? Like
Mm,
like your body can't take this at that age. Like the players who are going to win the championships are always like, they're going to lead the team, are almost always going to be in their 20s. Like this whole who's going to get KD, it doesn't matter. Like all
mm,
the or Giannis, I don't even think it matters. Like because not only are they at on in the downslope of their career, and they all those guys are, but they also come with supermax contracts, which just
yeah.
that's why the Suns suck. It's because they have to pay all these dudes, and like the younger guys can't make that much money. So it's like you're much better off having, Tyrese Halliburton because he can't make as much as LeBron,
Well,
right?
now
He's like,
that's the take right there. I had not heard that angle. So what are you saying? Like the market for KD is what exactly?
oh, someone will overpay him because he's KD, right? But it's just I don't think you can trade for a supermax player and have that player lead you to a championship because supermax players are by definition old. You can't get there until you're basically. It depends on how old you were when you drafted, but like you're around 30, and players peak at like 26, 27, and so. their salaries just fly off the handle. Like you don't want Damian Lillard. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
Like it's, but everybody, all we do all summer is obsess over these players who've already ascended. But it's like, oh, you should have been getting Tyrese Halliburton and Andrew Nembhard. That's how you get to the finals, right? Like we were all focused on the wrong things, right? Like
So
it
like
was,
chasing Paul George is a fool's errand. What,
it
Sixers
couldn't be
last year?
worse. Yeah, yeah, could not be a worse idea as far as I'm concerned. Like
Huh.
you're,
So if you were, you said teams are run poorly. If you're advising the Houston Rockets and
mhm.
their staff is that can we get Giannis without giving up Amen Thompson? Can we please do it? You would say let's pump the
That's
brakes and build
so
slowly.
that's an interesting one right there. That's a great question. I look, maybe people who know more about me than basketball would feel very confident that like would they give up? I don't know. They have to give up a lot because the salary's so big just to make
Yeah,
the trade work. But it's gonna be like Steven Adams and Jalen Green, and I don't know. I don't know what like, but
Şengün too, maybe.
yeah, probably. Yeah. That's a hard one.
And
But
is that too much?
if you make that trade and you now think that just we're going to win, we're the favorites this year, then all right, I'm never going to be opposed to that trade. But I do think it's like, you know, Giannis has had one significant injury, um, which was a year and a bit ago, right?
Yeah, that's right.
The next few years will have more. Like that's just how life goes, right? And so, what if you trade all that and then he's out for a year or six
Mm.
months or 2 months, like or the playoffs? Like, I I would for me I would be very stingy with trading Şengün. I would trade Jalen Green because I think I'm not sure he's gonna like I'm not sure he's gonna blossom quite the way you want him to. He might, but they know him better than I do. But he's a little kooky with the ball sometimes. Like
So,
he's a little.
so, do you think the Warriors made a mistake trading for older Jimmy Butler?
Well, no, because they were okay. Here's where I'm gonna really freak people out. The move, I think, probably. Well, let me ask you this: do you think they're gonna win a championship?
Well, if Curry doesn't go down, I think they were favored over the Timberwolves. Um, and could they have beaten OKC? I don't know. I didn't, map that one out. I'm of the belief that OKC is not as great as all the experts think. So I would have loved. I mean, listen, you can laugh, but I would have loved to have seen the Lakers against the Thunder. And I say that because the Lakers obviously killed them late in the season, and then they played
Hmm.
again, and everybody's like, "Oh, OKC punted that first game." And then the Lakers were beating them again before Luka was kind of ejected on a dumb call. And I'm just like, I trust Luka. I think I mean, I still think it's Luka, Giannis, and Jokic, best players in the league. So I think Curry and Butler could have possibly given him a run. Do you agree or
Yeah,
no?
I think I think the Warriors were a lively had lively chances in any series they might face. But I felt like I mean, let me just make up some math. Like they're 40% to win against every team left. But like 40% times 40% means they're like not like they're not going to win a championship, right? So to
Yeah.
me, like I want to win a championship. So I'm looking at that as like, okay, our best available player to pair with Steph gives us like, I don't know, a 4% chance, a 5% chance of winning a title this year or ever. And so I would trade Steph, and just do the whole thing, do the whole Thunder rebuild.
So
But
that,
that's not, if you
yeah, but
decide you
that's
just
not.
don't
Is that
want to,
realistic?
I mean, the Thunder
If
are
you
winning a
told the
championship with
owner,
it.
no, that's interesting because if I were Steph, I said it on here, I would have demanded a trade. But
Yeah.
can you imagine the reaction if you went into the owner and Steve Kerr and said, I think we need to trade Steph and start over? What do you think the pushback would be?
I just think we get so precious in sports. It's like, oh, look, it's we'll be fine. Like everyone's gonna be fine. Like
Well,
we're
the
just gonna
business,
be.
the
What they're
Warriors
gonna do is
business may not be fine for a
but they're
few
gonna
years.
wind him down. Like the Kobe Lakers, right? They're gonna have this like kind of painful wind down, but it's gonna be hard to say goodbye, and you're just gonna be a bad team for a while, right? Like, is that so great? Like, is there some wonderful victory in that?
Well, I don't. Are they building a new arena, or this
They
is a new
did.
arena and it's
This is
expensive
the
or
new
something?
arena. Yeah.
It's pretty expensive. So like,
Yeah.
if all of a sudden the lower bowl was half full because you got an 18-win team and your biggest draw is like Podzemski or something, that's a tough sell,
But what?
especially in Golden State. Now, is that an easier sell in OKC or Indiana? Maybe.
But there's like we're getting attached to the name. Like Steph Curry made his name being like 27 and being an absolute flamethrower.
Mhm.
But when he's he's 37 now. And we're talking about the years he's 38 and 39 and 40 and 41. Like lower bowl, like he's going to suck. Like that's just math, right? So do you want him for those years at his super max price where your team will suck, or do you not want him for those years? Like that's up to you. But right now, you can trade him for the sun, the moon, and the stars, right? And then yeah, you'll have your 2 years of rebuilding or whatever. But then you're going to have all the players you get for Steph Curry, or you can have him retire on your watch, and then you get nothing,
Okay.
nothing.
So it's interesting. I'm looking at on Hoops Hype the salaries. Curry has 2 more years at 59 and 62. Butler after this has 2 more. Draymond has 2 more. So it looks like they are lining everything up for 27 to be the swan song for Curry and Butler, and then they reboot. But you're saying I want to beat everybody to the punch and trade him before it gets too late, and then I'm not getting a haul of picks and an SGA type player or what
Yeah,
have you.
I mean, this is me being really cold and calculated. Like, if you decide as a franchise that you just want to keep him there his whole career, like, I respect it. Like, do it. That's great. But just know that it's coming at the cost of, like, you guys are gonna have 5 years of getting out of the woods after that. Like, book it. Like, your arena is going to be empty after his retirement. Like, it's just going to be really painful, right? The only way the Lakers got out is because LeBron decided to come, right? But
Mm.
they probably won't have that, right? It's going to be super painful to rebuild without the assets of trading away the superstar when he still has value.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because remember, after Kobe, like you said, they were in the wilderness for, I mean, it
It
was like
was,
Brandon Ingram, D'Angelo Russell. They had all those picks,
yeah,
Julius Randle, Lonzo Ball. It was a disaster.
yeah,
And then LeBron comes and saves them.
yeah.
So are we getting out of that era where the veteran can come and save the day?
I mean, if a really good player, or like the best player ever in the case of LeBron, wants to come to your team, like you're always going to be
Okay,
fine,
let me give you one
right?
for Curry. How's this? So
Yeah,
Curry is went to Davidson, obviously, and Charlotte has been a tire fire for I don't
for
know, since Alonzo Mourning
the
and Larry Johnson. I
duration.
don't know.
Yeah,
Um, you just said it's not smart to get a guy like Curry at this age, but if you're Charlotte, you're now relevant. You're on TV. You're sold
yeah,
out every day,
yeah.
and you ship LaMelo Ball out of town. Big deal. You've got uh Curry,
Brandon.
Brandon Miller, and whatever else. Is that something that becomes attractive to a small market team?
Yeah, I think it makes sense, right? I mean that's up to the Charlotte to decide, but like I 100%, you know,
Hmm.
NBA billionaires kind of act like they're running a circus, right? And they just want like the hoopla and the little dogs jumping through the hoops and all that stuff. And like Steph Curry counts, like for that. It's like this is this league that was started by people who like Bill Russell was traded for the ice capades, right? Like, um, like yeah, they would give something up for Steph Curry, and then the Warriors would be, they'd have all these picks and Brandon Miller and Lonzo Ball, or whatever, and they'd be much better off for sure, 100%.
Um, can you fix the Bucks for me in like a trade or two?
I think they're screwed. I'm totally honest. Like, this is about as bad a situation. I mean, look, I'm a
Really?
Blazers fan, and we have those Bucks picks, and that's gold, right? This 28, 29, 30 picks. I think the Blazers have like two pick swaps and a pick in there. Like, that was brilliant because, and, Dame and Giannis are old. I guess Giannis will bring back a pretty good haul, but I imagine a lot of it will be picks, and those will take a long time to make the Bucks have wins, right?
Can't you get wins and a player the way the Thunder got SGA and picks?
Yeah, you kind of can, but there is a very real problem in the NBA right now, which is almost every single team needs to cut salary. There's
So
only
okay, hold
one
on, hold on.
team,
Why is that though?
just because of the like second apron, blah
And
blah blah. So
and do you think that is because Adam Silver got word from the owners? We're sick of the super team crap, man. We're sick of it. It's
they
it's it's superstars joining forces, and they're not doing that in my backyard. Screw them. And now all of a sudden, yeah, the Celtics win the title, and they've got to tear it down almost instantly, right?
so there's this like pretty hardcore math where if the TV deal is a certain size and the salary cap is hard capped at a certain point, the owners just cannot lose money. And so like they wanted a hard cap and they couldn't quite get it. But they worked in years ago this like second apron repeater tax, blah blah. It all coalesces into effectively a hard cap. It's only a crazy person. Matt Ishbia is the only person who will like spend like a drunken sailor now because the luxury tax is just so much. I think I forget the number, but something like 90 million he's going to write a check for to distribute to the other teams. And if you're over the tax line, you don't receive that money. So there's just so much pressure. And as it happens, everybody's been spending like drunken sailors. So now it's only the Nets have significant cap room in the whole league, which means everybody has like some player who has a big salary, who may be an okay player, who they would just love to get rid of for nothing. Everybody has that. So suddenly Giannis's 50 whatever million he makes is not easy to swallow.
He's
There's
at
nobody
57 next year. Yeah.
57, right? Like this is a like there's no owner who's like, oh, that's no problem because it's gonna cost them like $1 billion in the multiple years of just like not receiving luxury tax and just paying all these repeater tax and all that stuff. So I think
But
it's a
is it
little bit,
worth it, Henry? Sorry, is it worth it if you think you can win a title with Giannis and reap all the benefits of a title?
yeah, I mean, it depends on the owner, but like I guess my point is that the SGA package isn't quite so rich anymore because the world has changed, right? So like you're not gonna get SGA and 5 first round picks for Giannis, right? Like the Thunder got for Paul George. You'll get less because everyone's a little more worried about paying him. Back in the days of this Paul George SGA swap, like everybody would want to pay those players, right?
Right.
But now it's like it's a little tight to squeeze them in. Like they're like if they offered, I mean, this might be blasphemy, but I have a feeling there are a bunch of teams you offered Giannis for free. They wouldn't take him.
Oh, come on.
No, because you literally like either it's like just literally cap prohibited. They literally cannot take him, or it's just the timing's wrong,
Right.
right? Like Giannis is going to be pissed off playing with a rebuilding team. That's why he's pissed off in Milwaukee, right? Because they're not good enough. Like to have somebody it can't shoot, he's going to age badly. Like he
But
relies
if
on
you're
athleticism.
okay, so we're talking about like the Orlando Magic. Okay. Hey, man, we could use a title. We could use
Yeah,
relevancy. I
yeah.
would love to be on TV on Christmas Day, opening night. Yeah, I'm willing to get in the. Don't you think there's at least half a dozen teams who are clamor would take that chance for Giannis?
I mean, the Magic are interesting because they're like a good athletic defensive team that he would fit in and make their good defense
They
even
just don't have
better.
the shooting,
They
really.
don't have, and like
Yeah.
he can't solve that. Yeah, it's a
What about
giant
like
crisis.
not as sexy, but like a Chicago? They have no big salaries on the books. The problem is Giannis ain't going to win there, right?
It's just gonna be
Would he be
sad.
pissed?
He said, "I the team." So my true hoop partner David Thorpe has thought about this more than anyone, and to him, the proper landing place for Giannis is Oklahoma City.
Oh, stop it. Come on.
They got infinite assets to trade, and they have shooters everywhere, and they play this super lively defense. Like they're gonna win everything for a long
Okay,
time.
but hold on. I haven't read Mr. Thorpe's piece, but what star am I getting? SGA in this deal? Obviously not Thunder SGA, like Clipper SGA. What star am I getting, and how many picks?
I mean, they have 15 picks to trade.
Yeah, but again, I don't
Like,
want to be. I don't want to just be making picks all the time. I need a player or two, like the
right.
way the Mavs got Anthony Davis and a young Max Christie. Now they got no picks, which is kind of embarrassing. But I'll tell you right now, I don't want J Dub because I got to pay him.
I mean, I guess I would say like the Thunder are like the Chase Manhattan Bank. They have the most of everything. And like, or you want to make a deal with like Bob's Bank, right? Like, this is the big store of assets. Like, I don't know exactly what the combination would be. You honestly, you probably have to include like some of those bigger salaries, like Caruso and
Hartenstein
Hartenstein.
or
Yeah,
Dort.
um, but I think you probably end up with like Chet Holmgren, Hartenstein, Dort, something like that, and then a gazillion picks. It's not
And
bad.
SGA gets Giannis. I
Yeah.
would take Chet as a building block.
Yeah,
Um,
I would too.
I don't Caruso. I guess I don't know. Um,
Oh, he's so good. I love
he is
Caruso.
good when he's surrounded by awesome guys like the Lakers in here. How was he in Chicago? You know.
I mean, he was great, but they sucked. That's not his fault, you know?
Yeah, but it feels like he's being pumped up a little bit because he's surrounded. Like, oh, hey man, you don't have to do much. Just go out there and be a pest. You know, and he was amazing defensively against Jokic.
He was amazing.
But can he be your third best player on a contender?
Um, I
Usually
don't know. It
fifth or
depends
sixth.
what the word best means, right? I guess, but I feel like, if you want to have the best defense in the NBA, you want him, right? You're so much better with him than without him, right? He just in the advanced metrics, he's literally the best defender in the NBA right now.
So outside of OKC, does anyone make sense for Giannis?
I mean, I don't
Like,
think Houston will do it, but could see the argument for Houston, right? I think they won. Did they win? How many games did they win these
won about
playoffs? Like,
50 games,
no, but I mean
right?
the
They were the
playoffs, like two. Like,
yeah, and offense was an issue. So
like they have this. They're this team that's allegedly like on the rise. They're coming now,
yeah.
and they're maybe not coming now. So to me,
Well,
like it might be worth checking it up a little bit, right?
no, no, wait. They won three because it went to game seven and they got
Was it game
smoked.
seven? Yeah, I
Yeah, yeah.
forget.
So would you do Jalen Green, Shengun, and three number ones?
I wouldn't.
You would not.
I would not.
Wow. See, I guess
Yeah.
the logic is, hey man, Reed Shepard, he's got next. We don't lose that much. Tari Eason is cheap and very good. Who's the other young? Oh, Jabari Smith, they still have who is ascending.
Yeah.
The problem is I
If
don't know who the clear two is. It might be Amen Thompson.
it might, he's so good. Yeah, I the Thunder have this other lesson, which is just get better, just grow. So many. This is one of the most incredible dorky things I know. So Lou Dort was the fourth best defender in the advanced stats last year on the Thunder. He did not change. He stayed exactly where he was, and now he's the 10th best in the advanced stats because everybody else just got better.
Hmm.
That's a
What metric is that?
defensive EPM. So like dunks and threes. This guy Taylor Snar made like I think it's probably the best like one number stat of
Hmm.
who's doing well. But yeah, I mean that was they brought in Caruso and Hartenstein who are also better. But all these like Isaiah Joe and Cason Wallace like they went from okay defenders to really good defenders, which is why the Thunder will probably win a championship.
Yeah, I do wonder. And again, I haven't. I just went to dunks and threes, but I don't have a login. Anyways, how much of that, Henry, is because, hey, these guys, Keeson Wallace, Isaiah Joe, they're playing like 20, 25 minutes a game as opposed to 35 to 40 in the playoffs, like most of the other stars. It's not that hard to be full on energy. We had Dave McMenamin on, and he said an NBA player told him the Thunder were the best college basketball team in the NBA because they had like 10 guys, all young and all just running full tilt the whole time. And I don't want to say the numbers are deceptive because the numbers are the numbers, but it's like they're so deep that it makes them like the Knicks, right? We saw them wear down against the Pacers. We saw the Lakers, who had no bench against the Thunder, just totally collapse three times in the clutch. Thunder really aren't collapsing in the clutch because they got 12 guys and everybody's fresh all the time. Is that fair as a counter or no?
I mean, that's the strategy, right? Teams that aren't doing that, like, what the fuck are you doing, right?
Well, easier
Like
said than
the
done.
the game is gonna be played at the highest speed in the history of the game. Like, if you have a 39-year-old star and you plan to play him 41 minutes, you're going to lose,
You're cooked,
right?
yeah.
Period, right? So you need to have Isaiah Joe, right? This is the strategy. What's your strategy? This is why Tom Thibodeau got fired, right? Like, what's your strategy? Develop your eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th players. Like, if you're just going to start playing game three of these conference finals, what the hell? This is way too late, right? Like plan now for game one next year, right? Like, we need to have 11 guys. Like, this is what
Well,
we're learning. Like,
that
you need
that's
to
good.
run really fast and jump really high. Like, that's
Uh,
what you're going to need.
and it hasn't always been that way, right? Because people are like, oh, nobody in the NBA plays defense. Interesting.
This
I
is
like
Kenny
these
Atkinson low press
observations.
conference. He's like they have an intensity measure in Cleveland. He's like, and Indiana's way up here. He's like the rest of the league is down here. He's like, we're like top five and we're like here, but Indiana's like off the charts because they're playing Obi Toppin and they're playing these guys who like they're not playing them because they're super good. They're playing them because they're gonna wear you out, and it's super
Interesting.
effective. It got them to the finals.
So wait a second. How do you measure intensity? That's just a thing that's hard. I mean, I guess like I wear a whoop. I don't. Do you have one of those things?
I don't wear one, but I know what you're
Okay.
talking about. Yeah.
And like it can say, hey man, you're going super hard. I'll play volleyball and like I max out at like 175, but basketball, I'm up to 185, 190. And so I guess that means my intensity's higher, but how are they,
So
the Cavs,
it's this
tracking
company's
other
Second
teams?
Spectrum. Second Spectrum has like cameras in the ceiling of every NBA arena, and I'm not sure what the special sauce is for the Cleveland version, but the raw material of it is, you can see how fast is Jalen Brunson. That's his burst of acceleration, and how much is he cutting, and is he hitting people, and like you can kind of they have some way they're tracking it, which is like their workload, and I guess you can, according to Kenny, it's not even close. You can see that, the Pacers are just going way harder than
Yeah.
everybody else, which is exactly, they're 2 years into doing this. They did this last year in the playoffs too, right?
Yeah.
And it works.
Zion Williamson, what do you do, Henry?
Not trade for him. Um,
What do you mean? Like they got to, I mean, obviously he's got a lot of legal issues swirling now. We'll see what happens there, but there was already talk they could move off him. I mean, they're a bit of a mess with the DeJounte Murray injury. CJ McCollum's making a lot. Zion, like, I don't know where these guys are going to go. You said everybody needs to shed salary, but like,
yeah.
easier said than done. I mean, Trey Murphy, holy cow, he's making 25 mil next year, and he's only the fourth highest paid guy on the team.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they're a mess. I just wrote a book called Ballistic, which is about injury prevention, right? And there's this lab in Santa Barbara where they take people like Zion Williamson and fix them with like super intense biomechanical examination, and they'll get to like the root cause of why does Zion keep getting hurt, and let's train that little oddity of movement rather than just catch each thing as it breaks. I feel like there's hope that he could discover what his upstream issue is that's causing. He obviously has some kind of funky movement, right? He's not landing well, and most non-contact injuries are caused by landing. So maybe he could go there and they would save him. That would be my best help, my best hope for him.
Oh, that's
Um,
bleak.
He's done a
All right.
bunch of crazy training, right? There's these pictures of him like at midnight in the summer on the asphalt, like doing his training, and like that worked when he was 16. It really did because he was 16, right? And it doesn't work when you're 26. So I would not. I would you. It's sort of like Ben Simmons to me. Like I thought Ben
Oh,
Simmons was a super good player in Philly.
so did I.
Would you trade for him? Like, is he okay? Can he run?
No.
Can he jump? Like
I don't think nobody's touching him. Let me go to the Knicks real quick. You saw the numbers in the series against the Pacers with Brunson and Towns. The Pacers found a hack. The Knicks are very susceptible. So the Knicks started to split them up. Things got a little better, but it was a little too late. Do you need to move on from one or the other?
I thought they were good. I was really impressed with Towns, to be honest. I thought that he just got ferocious in a way that we haven't seen before, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is pretty effective. He's not the same guy he used to be, and I think they're pretty committed to Brunson now. Not just because he's been good, but because like this is a family thing. William Wesley de facto runs the Knicks, and Rick Brunson was his first client dozens of years ago, and they've been together forever, right? There's no way they're trading Jalen Brunson. I just don't see that happening. So I think the moving on from Thibodeau thing is really about can we just get 11, 12 guys so that those guys aren't so exhausted at the end and cracking their knees on the floor and limping around and
Yeah.
looking so like a
I'm
fraction
sure
of
Thibodeau
themselves.
would counter with, well, wait a second, Henry. We've got 11 guys. Leon Rose, we got a great roster. Tibbs just didn't play him. And then Tibbs would come back as those guys can't really contribute. Tyler Kolek, I like him a lot. Is he ready? The Diade or whatever his name is, the French kid, is he ready? And Landry Shamet and DeLon Wright, if that's banking me on winning the series, I'm cooked. That I think that's what Tibbs
But
would respond with.
yeah, he would. But two things. One is last year he didn't play Alec Burks for months. And
That's
then they
right.
had so many injuries, they needed him. And then he was good. It's like,
He was
well,
really
now
good.
we know he could have been better if you guys been building trust with him for months leading up to this. That's the
Good.
problem. Is like Landry Shamet was good actually in these playoffs, but he just came out of mothballs for game three. Like Rick Carlisle has been taking your Landry Shamets, or actually your Obi Toppin, and making him good like all year long,
Mm.
right? Like you got to like integrate them and build trust and have him so he knows who's going to cut where. And like Obi Toppin hit the big three because he like made eye contact with the inbounder and like slipped away and like they've been doing this, right? This is what they do for a living is these players together. And like Landry Shamet, no one's used to playing with him on the Knicks. Like he hasn't played, right? And I
Yeah.
feel like this is just too little too late from Thibodeau, and he doesn't really believe in them, right? He was forced from going down 0-2 to haul a couple of guys off the bench that he never would have wanted to play, right? And it
100%.
wasn't even that much. It was like I after game four, I think I looked it up, like those two guys, Shamit and who else did you mention? I almost forget his name. Anyway,
DeLon Wright.
yeah, Dylan Wright. They had played like 23 minutes total each. It's like, whoop de damn do,
Yeah.
Like I was like, it just they didn't play him that much. Mostly it was Cat and Jalen will save us. And then
Hmm.
Jalen got so tired he had to headbutt Andrew Nemhard.
Yeah, he was very frustrated. I like where you're coming from, Henry. I just first of all, have you consulted for any NBA teams yet?
Well, no, I've never been paid for that, but I do get phone calls sometimes from coaches and stuff who want to know about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, and when you say some of this, and I'm assuming they consider it dramatic, sweeping suggestions. What's usually the response? Like, bro, you're crazy, or
No, I think like Kenny Atkins. I really think it's worth watching Kenny Atkinson's press conference after the Cavs got kicked out, and he was like, "This is just the league we live in now. Like we have to be able to keep up with these Pacers who are up here, and we don't have a way to train that. We haven't figured out how to train that hard. You can't train, you can't simulate that game in practice because Rick Carlisle's had the Pacers practicing something that people haven't done in basketball before. And so like this is what you got to figure out. This is your challenge now. If you can't figure it out, you're going to lose to them, right? And so I assume the whole league will figure it out, but I don't think you're going to figure it out with 39-year-old players.
yeah, damn. So that sounds bleak. I guess we could wrap up with
Sorry.
are the I know the Lakers have an old guy in LeBron, but they have a transcendent player in Luca.
Yeah.
Is there a world where they're just a player away with a rim running big, a rim protector? I'm just Nick Claxton, whatever. That
Well,
they're
as a
close.
Blazer fan, I think you guys should get DeAndre Ayton is what we're talking
No, come on, give me. By the way, are you friends with that guy at the Blazers who was at ESPN? I'm spacing on his
Tom
name.
Haberstroh?
Is he with the Blazers?
Yeah, he's on the Blazer broadcast now. Yeah.
No, no, I meant the Blazer front office.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He was the international scout guy.
Mike Schmitz. Yeah.
Schmitz, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that guy. I've known that guy for a long time. Yep.
So I don't know what they're doing. I look at Portland and like they seem to be, like you said, all over the place. The Aiton move was just goofy. They haven't moved off Jeremy Grant. It doesn't seem like they have a plan in place for the Shaden Sharp, Scoot Henderson, Anthony Simons thing. Do you know what's happening in Portland?
I this will be yet another surprise. I think they're doing a great job.
What?
Yeah, they I mean
How?
they're so nobody wanted their Jeremy Grants, right? Nobody wanted their Anthony Simons at the price they wanted. But as I mentioned, the whole league wants to reduce salary, and those are all becoming expiring contracts now.
Mm,
So their value will go up, not down, right?
okay, I see.
So so they, yeah, I think they thought they were going to get something great for them a year ago, and they didn't. So swing and a miss. But now like Jeremy Grant is still
He's
has a couple
expired.
years.
Jeremy Grant still has, but Aiton's expiring
Aiden's
after next
expiring.
season.
Yeah.
Simons is expiring. Robert Williams, Matthias Theibel. He
Yeah.
has a player option. So they're going to be losing some dudes. But here's my thing. So I get it. Nobody wanted your dudes. So essentially, did you punt on a full year, Henry?
No, because okay, here's the part that drives me crazy is like even Blazer fans aren't thinking about this, but I'm telling you, as someone who runs a business with the guy who invented private player development coaching in basketball, David Thorpe, like player development is very rare in the NBA. Like players don't take big leaps, but the Blazers are getting better. Chauncey Billups, I was not a fan when I hired him. I thought the sexual assault thing was very poorly handled. But the fact is, go look year over year. Those young Blazers have gotten way better. The second half of the year, they were top five defense. Like I actually think that they're copying this Pacers model. Like they're gonna have this crazy Tumani Kamara, Denny Avdia, like Matisse Thybulle. This like crazy high energy defense they have going is going to be a problem for the league, and we'll see if Shaden Sharp develops. We'll see who they get with the 11th pick. Like we'll see how the offense goes, but I like the improvement they've already done is a very rare jump that like the like how long has Charlotte not done that? You know what I mean?
Been
Like
a long time. So, okay. First of all, I think some people just heard the names you said and were like, "Oh, come on, those aren't real players, are they?" Because nobody pays attention to the Blazers. But I will ask this: how much of it is Kamara and company kind of showing well when none of the games mattered? They were playing irrelevant games basically from the All Star break on, and one could even argue, well, I don't know, were they tanking? Would you say?
No, they actually didn't. So at the trade deadline, Joe Cronin said that he didn't. They were on a winning streak, and
That's
they
right.
were in the mix for the play-in, and he
Play it.
said that he
That's right.
didn't want to mess up the team because they want to see if could make the play in,
That's
and they
right.
fell a little short. But I don't think they were. I actually think they're now like. I don't think it's time for them to trade for a big name player, but I think they have enough. Like you kind of know who's going to be there when they're next good, right? There are some
Uh,
keepers in the mix now.
okay. Is there a world where the Bucks say, "Bro, we want to get off contracts. We want to bottom out. Portland, give us your expirings. Aiton, Simons, toss in, I don't know, Scoot or Sharp, and then a draft pick, and then we'll give you Giannis. And we'll just be able to clean up our books that way as opposed to build something. We'd rather clean up our books so we're not paying a luxury tax as opposed to trying to contend. Is that like a pipe dream?
Well, there's a particular reason why the Bucks would call that team, which is they Bucks who are going to be bad soon want their picks back, right? So the Blazers are the
Oh,
team that
that's right.
has their picks, right? So well, they're one of the teams. Other teams have Bucks picks too. The Bucks have traded away everything you can trade.
Everything.
Um, so they might, but it seems like such a schedule mismatch, right? You'd end up with, Giannis and the kids, and Giannis is not going to like that.
Yeah,
It just
he's not
seems
going to be
like
close.
it'd be so frustrating for everybody.
I kind of want to ask about Toronto, but I just feel like that's total nonsense.
I don't really
Is
know what
it?
they're doing. I don't really get it. Like, Masai's smart. I'm sure he knows more than I do, but it seems like a little
Yeah.
trading away Pascal was bold and worked out really well for Indiana.
Hmm.
They didn't get they got like Jonathan Mogbo was one of those draft picks. He seems like maybe he'll be good. But they just didn't get much. They got um, you know, they're a very middling team now.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the league. All right, Henry Abbott, True Hoop, great stuff. The name of the book you wrote was Ballistic.
Ballistic came out May 6th.
Wow, congrats, man. That's
Change your
pretty
life.
awesome.
Yeah. Change your life.
Um,
Look at me just
well, it
saying
might
it'll change
change
your life.
Zion's life.
Change Zion's life. There's a great that one of my favorite little like blurb on the book is from Pablo Torre, and it says, "If you have hips, buy this book."
Pablo Torre, that's a guy crushing Belichick these days. Yeah.
He's mixing it
So,
up out there. Yeah, he's like, yeah, doing that. Yeah.
wow. All right, buddy.
All
Thanks a
right.
lot, Henry. All right,
Thank you,
see ya.
Jason.